What's up, everyone? So before we start the regular season simulation, I want to do a couple different things. First of all, I named an alternate captain with the departure of Mike Fisher. I named Sean Thornton an alternate captain just because he's only there for physicality and to defend his teammates and stuff. I'm gonna make this new captaincy kind of like a battle. I'm gonna make it between Philip Forsberg. Um, where is he? Seth Jones and the other one. I had it for someone else too. I don't remember who it was. Oh, okay, whatever. But basically, we'll give that third spot to whoever proves they're more worth, they're most worth the alternate captaincy at that point. Um, and if not, if both of them kind of disappoint or it's too close to call, we'll make it a veteran like Mike Ribeiro or Carl Soderberg or something. So that just keep that in mind over the next few months as the season goes on. If we can name Pekka Rinne a captain, then we definitely would. Well, an alternate, but still, we would definitely would. But it hasn't been a thing since like the mid 2000s. So. And then I want to go kind of do a new around the league. First, I'm going to do it like 2 times basically. What I'm going to do is go through each of the first 15 picks in order of when they were picked, and that'll end off on our roster. And then we'll just look at the top prospects around the league after that. So first pick was Connor McDavid, went to Buffalo. We'll look at him. You probably already know how good he is. Or ends up being. He's a 4.5 Green Star player, 74 overall at 18 years old, 75 faceoffs, decent defense, really good senses, shooting, and puck skills. He's a good skater as well, not super physical, but that might develop over time, although he's only 5'11", 171, so I wouldn't expect it. He is going to be the next great player in this league. He already probably could be a third liner offensively, but his defense needs to come around, and he's a little small still. He might grow a little bit more still, but that's a solid prospect. He's a game changer for sure. I wish there were Jack Eichel in this game. That would be great. New Jersey drafted a goalie, Gauthier Declos, 72 overall at 19. I don't know where he played. It doesn't say where they played in the minors, but he's already got really good. He's already got some good categories and reflexes. Definitely needs to work on that glove low. And some of the other ones need to round. That one's definitely like his weak spot. It looks like though. And then his shot recovery and poke check need to catch up with his other categories in puck control. And he's already pretty good athletically. The durability kind of worrisome, and the vision's not super great, but everything else is pretty good. So he's still a good bit away, but is going to be a great goalie in this league. All right, San Jose, pick number 3 overall. They got a defenseman named Oscar Kylington. I don't know about this guy. I know that he's from the SHL, and that's about the end of my knowledge. Looks like he's a solid offensive defenseman, and he's got some pretty good defense and physical as well. So yeah, he's classed as a two-way defenseman. I think he's going to be a good two-way defenseman. The only thing is he might not ever be great physically because he's only 6', 186. So he'll be a good defensive player and a good offensive player, but I don't know if he'll ever be a really physical player. And then we'll go to Tampa Bay, who also selected a goalie, even though they have Vasilevsky went down to Red Stars. Ooh, that's not good. They got Patrick Day, who's a 55 overall at this current point. He was selected 4th overall. And he's definitely a ways away. It looks like definitely right now his athletic is the top category for him. He's got pretty much the same in all reflexes. So that's that. R. Parento, I don't know who this guy is. But he went to, I tried to go to Phoenix. He went to Arizona. Is he a goalie? Yeah, Rylon Parento, 51 overall. You can look at his stats here. I'm not going to go as in depth with some of these guys now. I'll just show you them overall. Washington also got it. Everyone just got goalies. Jesus. They got Jake Smith. So maybe Braden Holt be someone we can trade for down the line when Pekka Rinne gets a little bit older. There's that. Then finally we get to forward prospects after like four out of the five, like 4 out of the last 5 picks that I've read off were goalies, and it was 4 of the first 6. So Calgary, if we had a top 10 pick, we would have been in a pretty good position. Calgary got Matthew Barzal, who I don't know what he's rated in this game. He's 66 overall. Pretty good. His accuracy is not as high up as his power. He's got decent puck skills, and everything else is kind of meh. He's only a 66 overall, so obviously he's got a lot of room to improve. Still, Minnesota picked up Nicholas Malak, only 4 green stars. I thought he was 4.5 yellow, but that might have been just when the game first came out. Well-rounded in all categories. However, he's only 61, so obviously he's still got a good ways to go before he's a contributor at the NHL level. You got Philly, who took Shields. He's a goalie as well, Mac Shields. Is that Steve? Okay, Steve Mason's only an 85. Mac Shields, 75 overall. Probably the best of the top 10 picks for value at this point. He is 20s already, though, so, you know, he might not have as long of a playing career. Pretty good reflexes already. Puck control needs work, and athleticism's alright. His vision needs to get up, though, I think. Then Florida had the next pick. They took Vatatur. Is that his name? He's also a goalie, Daniel Vautour. There's a lot of friggin' goalies. It's the year to get a goalie, I guess. Yeah. Columbus got Lazarev. I think that's his name. Is he also a goalie? No, he's not a goalie. Oh, yeah, he is. Right there. Leo Lazarev. They didn't even sign him. Yeah, he's a good bit away. Only a 50 overall, obviously. Take a drink. Ottawa, picking 12th, got Dylan Strome. I know was a center. He's only 4 yellow stars, as I remember from him being in Washington. This is the same roster. I just personally updated it. Defense is piss poor at this point. His physicals, everything else is not quite there. He's only 61 overall, obviously, though. Fanjoy went to Winnipeg. Is that what they are now? I keep trying to call him Atlanta. I don't know where he is. Fanjoy right here. 4 yellow star, 2-way forward. For 2-way forward, well, he doesn't really have any of his. The only category that's really developed is skating. Everything else is really a work in progress. He's only 18 though, so he could improve. And then Edmonton, who sat just outside of the playoffs this season, apparently, took Ryu. Is that his name? Is he a defenseman? No, he must be a goalie. Yep, he is a goalie. 4 stars, 55 overall. Look at him right there. Really quick if you want to stop. And then lastly, we, the first pick not being in the lottery, drafted Travis Konecny, 63 overall, playmaker, who's already pretty decent offensively. His defense needs to develop, but I think he'll be a good player. But also, you know, you hope everyone drafted in the top half of the draft is a good player. So, you know. Alright, and now we're going to look at all the prospects in the entire NHL for each team, both in the NHL and in the minor leagues for each team. So we'll start with Nashville. We got Philip Forsberg and Seth Jones. They're not really prospects at this point, but that's our top players in the NHL, potential-wise. And then we got Joshua Chapman, who was our 2nd-round pick last year. Travis Konecny was our 1st-round pick last year. And Kalela, who was, I believe, our 7th, or no, he was our 3rd-round pick. Our 7th-round pick was 3.5 stars. Kalela in that round. And we also got Peter Pontus Aberg and Kevin Gravel on the just on the outside of making the roster, as well as Colton Sissons and some of these players down here. You know, on their fringe roster players at this point. And then I'll do goalies after. So New Jersey's got Damon Severson and Adam Larson and Eric Tillina and John Merrill as their top prospects at this point in the NHL. And then in the minors they have Adam Brooks, Matt Schmalz, and that guy. So the Islanders have, you know, John Tavares. He isn't even capped out yet. Griffin Reinhardt's playing in the NHL this season, and looks like that's it. Michael Dalcol still in the minor leagues, and Ryan Pulak both on just on the outskirts of making this roster. It looks like, as well as Joshua Hosang. New York Rangers don't really have anything in the system. They have Oli Mikola. Is that who they? Whoops. Is that who they took in the draft? No, it's Danny Cristo. Shit. I know they didn't take him in the draft. He's been on their team for a while. Oli Mikola. Is that their? Yeah, it was their first round pick, 30th overall. And then on the main roster, they don't really have any prospects either. So they're not a really they're more a veteran team anyway. So Ottawa has Cody Ceci up, 21 years old, 85 overall. Looks like a great defenseman for them. And Curtis Lazar is finally cracking the roster for them too. And Paul Bittner and Dylan Strome and Guillaume Gauthier and Matt Pumple are their top prospects, it looks like. Philly has Sean Couturier. They've had him though, and no one really else. They have Robert Hagg, who's could be in the NHL even. Sam Morin, Evan DeHaan as their top. So defense looks nice in the future for Philly. 5 of their top 6 prospects are defensive players. And Pittsburgh has only Mata, Ian Cole, no one really notable. Okay, I thought I saw someone I knew. And then in the minors, they have Derek Pouliot, who could be in the NHL. Scott Harrington also could be in the NHL, and Kasperi Kapanen, who's close to being ready, as well as Bokonji Imama. Sorry if I'm butchering these names. He's Canadian. I thought he would be like some African. He sounded like an African type name. He was a 2nd round pick in this past draft, so it looks like he was a good pickup for that. And Sadorov as well. I wonder, is he their 1st round pick? Or, no, he was their 3rd round. So it looks like this is a deep draft. I know Kapanen wasn't their 1st round. I don't know if they even had a 1st round. Yeah, they did, because I said it even. San Jose, I gotta reset it. San Jose's got Mirko Mueller, Thomas Hertel, Matt Nieto playing in the main team, and then they got Oscar Kylington, Sean Talixon, Nikolai Goldobin, and Kyle Becker as their top prospects in the minors. St. Louis, they don't really have prospects at this point. Ty Ratty in the NHL. Ivan Barbashev, one of the top centers in the minor leagues. Nikita Korostelov, Robbie Fabry, Dmitry Yaskin are their top prospects. And I said I'll go do goalies again, I think, anyway. Which I will do after this. Steven Stamkos, 5-star gold, actually. I didn't know that. Jonathan Drouin and Nikita Kucherov. He's not really a prospect. He's played 2 full seasons at this point. Yeah, they don't really have prospects. Anthony D'Angelo, Vladislav Nemesnikov, Anton Marco, Slater Kuku, Adam Ernie, and Daniel D'Souza. It seems like they should have more prospects. They have like the top farm team in the top farm system in the minors or whatever, however you'd say it. Toronto, Morgan Riley up to an 84, so he's moving right along in his development. And Frederic Gauthier looks like he made the main roster at this point in his career. William Nylander, Mitchell Marner, Austin Strand are their top prospects. Vancouver has Sven Barchi in the NHL finally. Bo Horvat, Adam Clendenning. Anyone else? No. And then Hunter Shinkruk, Daniel Sprong, Jake Vertanen, who was a top 5 pick the year before. Nicholas Jensen still hasn't made it in the NHL. And Jared McCann are their top prospects. Washington, no one really prospect at all. Andre Burakovsky. And then the minors, they got Madison Bowie. That's about it for their that team. Winnipeg has this guy. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name. Nicholas Patan, Nicola Ehlers, Ben Fanjoy, Josh Morrissey, and him. And then in the NHL, they got Mark Scheifele, Jacob Truba, Joel Armia, and that's it. Anaheim has Tyson Bailey, Nick Ritchie, Stefan Noesen, Nick Kurdliles and Shea Theodore as their main prospects in the minors, and they got Hampus Lindholm in the NHL. Anyone else worth noting? Rickard Rakell, Yuri Sekach. Arizona has Anthony Duclair on their main roster, actually. Brandon Gormley, Henrik Samuelsson. Looks like that's about it. Yeah, oh, I didn't go in their minors. And then they got him, Max Domi, Brendan Pierlini, Juuso Ikonen, and Laurent Dauphin. Boston has David Pastrnak, Kalinin, and then in the main roster, all they have is Dougie Hamilton, who's not even a prospect at this point. The Buffalo Sabres have Mikhail Grigorenko, Rasmus Ristolainen, Zemgus Girgensons. Looks like that's about it. And in the minors, they got Connor McDavid, Sam Reinhart, Nikita Zadorov, and Bruce Trafford, Samuel Shutt, and Brendan Lemieux. I want to see how I'm doing on time here. I think I'm pushing 20. All right. Calgary has Matthew Barzal, Sam Bennett. Oh, I didn't go over the rest. Marcus Crawford, Morgan Klimchuk, Emile Portier, and Mike Davies. Good future for them. And then Sean Monahan and Johnny Gaudreau, who was up to an 89 overall now. Let's see, what did he do last season in the NHL? Only 51 points. I don't know how he got higher up in Forsberg. It's weird. Might be because he's older, too, though. And they got Brody and Backlund. They're not really prospects at this point. Carolina, no one. Elias Lindholm, Ryan Murphy. And then the minors, they have Hayden Fleury and this guy and Vince Dunn. Chicago has Tuvo Teravainen. I don't know how he's not on their team. Dennis Yan, Billy Polka, Ryan Hartman, Mark McNeil, TJ Brennan. He's not a prospect, but still. And then no one up there that's a prospect at this point in their career. Colorado, looks like nothing on their main roster. Ryan Pilon, Pavel Zacha, Duncan Siemens, and Alexei Papin. Columbus, Oliver Bjorkstrand, Sonny Milano, Alexander Wenberg, and Marco Dano. And looks like Ryan Murray actually plays in this version of things. Kirby Reichel, David Savard, and Boone Jenner. Dallas has Travis Brown, Alexei Sararella, Jason Dickinson, and then on their main roster they just have Sagan and Ben for potential. Oh, they have Valerie Nichushkin too. And Jamie Oleksiak's not bad. Detroit, Anthony Mantha finally cracking the NHL. Danny DeKeyser, he's 25 at this point. Thomas Tatar is also 24. Xavier Ouellet, Thomas Yurko up to an 85. And then the minor, how is he still 94-37? That's pretty impressive. Well, he's dropped half a star, but still. And then the minors, they got Ivan Provorov, Reed Halaby, Nick Merkley, who we were thinking about drafting at one point, and Ryan Sproul. Edmonton has Jeremy Waugh, Darnell Nurse, Ryan Verbeek, Marc-Olivier Waugh, Leon Draisaitl's in the NHL. It's hard to filter through this, so give me a second. Clefbaum, and that's it looks like. Florida has Aaron Ekblad, Alex Barkov, Jonathan Huberdeau, Rocco Grimaldi, Eric Goodbranson, Nick Bjugstad's up to an 87, Dmitry Kulikov. All their teams basically prospects. So, and then they have Benjamin Fain, Adam Marsh, Brandon Carlo, Anthony DeLuca in the minors. Los Angeles has Valentin Zykov, Travis Dermott, and Roland McEwen. I must have forgot to trade him to Carolina. Spencer Watson. And then on their NHL roster, they have no one who wasn't there already. Minnesota's got Malak, obviously, Matthew Dumba, Zach Phillips, and then in the NHL, they got Charlie Coyle, Jonas Brodin, Nino Niederreiter. Again, they're not really prospects, but still. No one here. Alright, Nathan Boyou, Jared Tenorti, Alex Galchenyuk could still probably be considered a prospect at this point. And in the minors, they have Yakov Trenin, Nikita Sherbak, and Timu Lamsa. And that's back to us. So we'll go over goalies now really quick. Yeah, we have nothing. Duclos. Islanders have Blackwood and Herbst. I'm not going to go in depth into all of them. Alex Dubois is on the Rangers, and he was already there, it looks like. Leonard on here. Too bad that other guy doesn't have, the Hammond guy, doesn't have potential. I don't know how in depth I'm going to go into this. Just going to kind of scroll through. Louis Philippe Nandon. Nothing in St. Louis. Tampa Bay's pretty set, although I think Vasilevsky's kind of ruined at this point. He could be someone we consider trading for in the future, though. Keep him in mind, depending on how his development goes. Toronto's got Valerie Nicholson, Jacob Markstrom, Braden Holtby, and Jake Smith. Hutchinson, Eric Comrie, John Gibson, and Brandon Johnston, actually 4.5 Red Stars. Mark Byzantine, I didn't go over their minors. Yeah, Rylan Parento, and Jacob Brennan's actually not that bad either. Malcolm Subban for the Boston Bruins, still not on their roster. Interesting. Buffalo has Zanussi and Matt Hackett. Not really a good goaltending future for them. It looks like they might have a top 5 pick again. Calgary, nothing. Carolina, they got Nedeljkovic. Chicago's got Weber and nothing. And Colorado has Calvin Pickard, who's not really that great. Columbus, Oscar Dansk, if he ever comes around. They got a lot of good goalies, actually. They got Evan Smith, Connor Hicks, Neil Lazarev that they just drafted. Not worrying about goaltending there. Jack Campbell, and that's it. Jimmy Howard, Jake Patterson, and LaChance, and Peter Marazek, who's not on their main roster apparently. I guess Jonas Gustafsson was more important to them. Ryu, and that's it. Florida's got Venator, must have traded Luongo. Bawatur. Gugovaz and Berman are on Los Angeles. Minnesota's got Lankin and Kozin, and that's it. Tokarski on Montreal is not that great. They have Zach Verkali and Bobby Dugan though, so they're pretty set along with Carey Price. Nashville, yeah, that's us. So that's it for the Around the League. I simmed through the preseason, so next episode we can get right into simming. Hopefully we can get 40 games in this next episode, but I'm not going to be disappointed if it's just 20 again. So thanks for watching, everyone, and peace out.